Welcome to English Stories Journey. Listen, relax, and grow your English with every story. Tommy Gray was not like other comedians. He was tall, thin, and always wore a black jacket. His eyes were sharp, his face was serious, and his lips never curved into a smile. Yet every Friday night, people filled the small comedy club on King Street to see him. The posters outside said, "Tommy Gray, the stand-up comic who never smiles." When he stepped on stage, the room became silent. He looked at the crowd with his cold eyes, and then he began to speak. The strange thing was this: even without a smile, even without a single laugh on his face, Tommy made everyone in the room laugh until their stomachs hurt. People asked the same question again and again. Why didn't he smile? Was he sad? Was he angry? Or was it only part of his show? No one knew. Some said he had promised never to smile after a great tragedy. Others believed he had a secret so dark that a smile could never return to his lips. But no matter the rumor, the club was always full. People loved the mystery as much as the comedy. One evening, a young journalist named Sarah decided to find out the truth. She was clever, curious, and always chasing unusual stories for her newspaper. She went to the club, sat at the back, and watched carefully. Tommy walked on stage. His jokes were sharp, clever, and fast. The audience laughed loudly, but his face remained as still as stone. Sarah wrote in her notebook, "A man who gives laughter but never takes it." Why? After the show, she followed him outside. He walked quickly down a dark street, carrying only a small bag. "Mr. Gray," she called. "Wait, I'm Sarah from the Evening Journal. May I ask you some questions?" Tommy stopped. He looked at her. His eyes were tired, older than his years. "You may ask," he said, "but I may not answer." Then he walked away. Sarah did not give up. She began to investigate. She searched the library, old newspapers, and online archives. At last, she found something. A photograph from 10 years earlier. It showed a group of young comedians on stage. All of them were smiling, laughing, enjoying life. And there, in the middle, was Tommy Gray. He looked different. His hair was longer, his eyes brighter, and his mouth wide with joy. He had the biggest smile of them all. "What happened to you?" Sarah whispered to the picture. The next Friday, Sarah returned to the club. After the show, she waited by the backstage door. When Tommy came out, she held up the photograph. "I found this," she said. "You used to smile. You were happy once. What changed?" For a moment, his face softened. His eyes moved to the picture, then back to Sarah. "Where did you get that?" he asked quietly. "Does it matter?" she replied. "Tell me the story." Tommy sighed. He looked around, then nodded. "Come with me. But if I tell you, you must promise not to print it in your newspaper. Promise?" "I promise," Sarah said. They walked to a quiet cafe. Tommy ordered only black coffee. He began to speak slowly, his voice low. 10 years ago, I was just like the others. I laughed, I smiled, I loved the stage. But then, there was an accident." Sarah listened carefully. "I had a comedy partner, David. We performed together. He was my best friend. One night, we were driving home after a show. It was raining, dark, and the road was wet. I was driving. I made a mistake. The car slid, hit a tree. David didn't survive." Tommy stopped. His hands shook slightly. "Since that night, I decided I would never smile again. How could I? I caused the death of my best friend. I gave laughter to strangers, but I could not forgive myself." Sarah felt a cold shiver. She understood now. The mystery was pain. "Why do you still perform then?" she asked gently. "Because David loved comedy," Tommy answered. "He believed laughter was the greatest gift. I cannot smile, but I can still give laughter to others. That is my punishment and my promise." Sarah nodded. She respected him. She realized his silence was not arrogance, it was grief. Weeks passed. Sarah often came to watch his shows. She wrote nothing in her newspaper, but she filled her diary with notes about him. Then one night, something strange happened. During the performance, a man in the audience stood up and shouted, "You are a fraud, Gray. A man who never smiles cannot be a real comedian." The crowd booed him, but Tommy raised his hand. "Let him speak," he said calmly. The man laughed cruelly. "You make us laugh, but look at you. You are dead inside." The room grew silent. Everyone waited for Tommy's reply. He stood still, his face hard. Then he said, "Sometimes the person who makes you laugh the most is the one who cries the hardest when the lights go out."
The room froze. It was not a joke, it was the truth. But then, slowly, people began to clap. The clapping turned to cheers. The angry man left in shame. After the show, Sarah found Tommy outside. He looked pale but strong. "You were brave tonight," she said. He shrugged. "I only spoke what I felt." Then Sarah did something unexpected. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small object. It was a red clown nose. She held it up and said, "Just try it. For David, for me." Tommy stared at it for a long time. Then, slowly, he put it on his nose. The image was so ridiculous, tall, serious Tommy with a clown nose, that even he could not resist. For the first time in 10 years, his lips curved, his teeth showed, his face softened. He smiled. Sarah gasped. "You see? You can still smile." Tommy touched his face as if he couldn't believe it. Tears filled his eyes. Maybe it's time," he whispered.
A month later, posters appeared on the streets again. They showed Tommy Gray, but this time there was something different. A small, almost secret smile on his face. The title said, "Tommy Gray, the stand-up comic who smiled again." The club was more crowded than ever. People came not only for laughter, but also for hope. That night, Tommy stood on stage. He looked at the audience, then at the empty chair in the corner where he imagined David still sat. "This one is for you, old friend," he whispered. And then he began his show, with a smile. The audience laughed louder than ever before, but this time, Tommy laughed with them. Sarah wrote her story at last, but not for the newspaper. She kept it in her diary, as a memory of the man who gave laughter without taking it back. People never forgot Tommy Gray. They said he was the comic who carried sadness in his heart, but turned it into joy for the world. And though his smile returned slowly, carefully, it was real, and it was beautiful. Do you think comedians laugh and smile as much in their real lives as they do on stage? Or are some of them hiding pain behind the jokes? Write in the comments. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe for more English stories.